Hi, my beautiful creators. It's Kariana, your favorite witchy coach. All right, guys. So before I dive into this video, which is super duper duper exciting, I have a huge update on my clients that were my success story. It was a while ago now, and I've been waiting for this person to give me an update, give me permission to share this on the channel because they were a client of mine that had a huge success story that a lot of people watched that video and have asked me a few times about updates on this client of mine. And I finally, got the update, got permission to share it on the channel. And so now I'm going to share it with you guys. And my hope is, I just wanted to jump on here. I don't want to make this, video too long, but my hope is that if you're, watching this, video in a state of, I don't have what I want, maybe down and out, sad, angry, resentful, I don't have what I want, whatever. I just want you to realize that, you're powerful. You're no different than this client. And also too, I didn't want to wait. I just wanted to pop on here and share this with you guys because I got this update and it's very exciting. And I just want to share it with you guys. I'm always excited for my clients, and I get updates and I get reviews and success stories weekly, like I said, but I just, I don't know, I guess every video I kind of want it to be more focused on you guys just watching the video and taking it for what it is and making it your personal, journey instead of comparing yourself to, a success story. I understand that success stories are supposed to boost our confidence and everything. And I know they do, but I know that some people come on this channel and other channels in a state of, I'm trying to figure out the best method, or I'm trying to watch the next success story and compare. And that is just not powerful. That's a powerless state to be in. So I am intending, my assumption is that you're going to watch the success story and you're going to, really make it your own. I mean, turn it around and take the story and make it your own success story. Right. All right, guys. So before we get into it, before we dive into the story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Check out our course on how to find your blocks, manifest anything fast. Also, too, all of my information for my sessions will be down in the description box below. Please reach out if you need any help on your journey. I would love to help you. Yeah, I mean, let's get everything we desire, and let's do it with a coach that's going to kick your butt like me, right? All right, guys. So it's spooky season. I'm excited. I'm spooky year round, but this is my month to shine. I'm here for it all day, every day, guys. Happy October. All right. So I had a client, okay, that turned into my success story. And basically, in a nutshell, I don't have the original success story like right in front of me because, like I said, it was a while back, and I didn't get a chance to pull it. But if you guys want to watch that video, the video title is something like From Blocked to Moving In or something like that. But it's just a wonderful story. In a nutshell, basically my client went from being blocked, being in this horrific, situation that was unraveling and going downhill very quickly with SP. Like I said, I'm just summing this up, to basically turning the whole situation around and ended up moving in with this SP. Okay. And they have been very successful in their journey together in a relationship. Things have been going great. And she reached out to me, right, and told me that the next step that she wanted to do, right, because we've been having updates and sessions with each other since. And she was like, we've been talking about this. So first we got her to move in, right? So that manifested. That was great. And then there was a couple of things that she was working on with her career and work and stuff that she wanted to kind of really get in solidify and get it hardened into fact before she moved forward in the relationship, meaning like, a solid marriage, kids or anything else that she wanted. So we worked on that for a little bit. That was wonderful. That ended up becoming very successful for her. And then we worked on, because I asked her, I said, well, what would you want next? Would you want engagement, now that you guys have moved in together? Would you want a child? Well, in a nutshell, because of her age, right? She felt like not that marriage isn't important to her. Okay. We're working on that next, actually. We just had a conversation about that, but she really wanted to work on baby next because of her age. Okay. And I said, this is your world. This is your reality. I can't tell you what is the right or wrong answer for that. Because she asked me, well, what do you think? And I said, I think that anything is possible. I think you're limitless. And I think that I really want you to continue to start looking, continue to look at yourself as limitless. And so she told me, she goes, Kariana, I think because of my age, because she has an assumption about age, right? We can manifest our way out of that as well. But like, she has this assumption about age. And so she said, Kariana, I think with my age, I think that it would be really, helpful for me to start manifesting a baby. Okay. And so she went on the journey of exploring that. Okay. And she had some difficulties, I'm not going to lie, with some blocks and resistance around, age, one, and then trying to manifest the child in and not becoming pregnant right away. And then, exploring, and I guided her through all of this. And I'm, like I said, I'm cutting through all of the little baby details that we worked on, but having some resistance around going to like fertility doctors, which she chose to do. And getting told certain things, nothing crazy. And then, the money around it and all of that stuff. So she felt like there was just a lot of layers to, manifesting a child. And she felt discouraged at times and stuff, but I helped her through that. And she continued on her journey, right? And what she decided to do, and I'm not trying to say that this is the answer for you, okay? I mean, this would require, sitting down in session and talking about all the details. But I'm just telling you what happened with my client and how she was successful with manifesting a child. And now we're working on marriage. So basically she said, I think there's a lot of layers to this. I don't know what to do. I'm feeling a bit like I'm out of my, off my game. I don't feel powerful in what I've been doing so far. And so we talked this out and stuff. And I told her, I said, look, I want you to why don't we just take a breather from we're not letting it go, right? But we're going to take a breather from talking to these doctors and all these things, because this is obviously triggering you. Okay. And that you make the rules. Okay. And so I told her, I said, I want you to really trust in, she calls it God, right? I said, I really want you to trust in your God. And I really want you to give this to your higher power. Okay. I want you to, say some blanket umbrella affirmations. So we created those. She started scripting in a very blanket umbrella way about the child, right? And kind of just let go of how this was going to work out, right? Which you have to anyways. But I'm saying let it all go. We're not talking to anybody else about it. We're not exploring options. We're just going to let this go, relax, and just trust in our God to push out when and how this is going to happen. Okay. Because that's not your job. And I had to keep bringing that back because of her circumstances. Circumstances don't matter, right? But she was, semi making them matter. With this matter, I think it was because it was very dear to her heart and she was very sensitive. And she has been told her whole life that, you have a certain, excuse me, guys, you have a certain, time frame to have a child and it's supposed to go like this and da, da, da. I'm telling you guys, the minute that we did this, okay, and sorry, there's something flying around. The minute that we did this, okay, this was the answer. Because she realized then that because of some things that happened, right? She realized then that she was completely open to how she was going to have this child, right? And what happened is they're involved in, well, they were involved in some like an event planning thing for their ex church, right? But they have some people that they still are in contact with. She doesn't go to church very much, knowing LOA. She kind of looks at things a little bit differently, which is completely understandable. No shade to anybody that goes to church and that is religious, no shade. But that was just her thing, right? But they were still involved in, that life, right? Where they were, talking to certain people that were in their little circle right before. But in a nutshell, right, they went to this event and they had these people this couple that they were talking to, right? And they were talking about how their daughter was about to give birth and that she decided after really a lot of thought that she was going to give up a baby. She was going to, put the baby up for adoption. And they were nervous because they really wanted the baby to go to a home that maybe they were familiar with or that they felt comfortable with. They wanted to make sure that the baby was going to be safe. Okay. And in a good environment and all of that thing. And I know that they screen for all that stuff and everything, but whatever the talk was, it was about them being very concerned and stuff. They're young grandparents, right? Their daughter is young, and i.e. why she's giving up the baby, because she decided that she wants to further her education in college, and it just wasn't the right time. So they're talking to them and they're like, we heard that you guys are, looking to extend your family. And she starts talking to them and saying, yeah, I've kind of just given it to, my God. And, I'm trusting that I'm going to be, that my God is going to push out the how and the when. And she's kind of talking LOA and everything with them. And they're open and they're very nice and cool people about it. And they said, well, we're bringing this up to you because we think that you guys would be perfect parents for this baby that's about to be born. And they were just over the moon how everything it like fell into place for them. It was like, whoa, wow. And when she came to me and she told me what happened, she said, what do you think? And she goes, and I said, well, this is your reality. What do you think? She goes, I'm over the moon. I'm so happy. She goes, I didn't even think about something like this happening. I was so fixated on having this baby and how much it was going to cost and my age and all of these things. I got so caught up in that I didn't think about how this could work out for me like this, right? And I'm telling you guys, this just fell into her lap. I mean, I always say this about my success stories. I cannot make this stuff up. It's so crazy. It's insane. And you would think that as many years as I've been doing this, as many success stories that I've heard about, that I would be like, okay, yeah, heard it all, right? And I always say that. I always joke around and say, like, been there, done that, bought the t-shirt twice, right? But I'm going to be honest with you guys. Every single time that I hear a success story, I still get so excited. And I'm still like, how did this happen? Like, wow. Like, I'm always so excited. But moral of the story is, bottom line is that they ended up working, the adoption out with the daughter. Okay. Daughter already knew them, they're not best friends or anything like that, but they're associates, right? Daughter already knew them, but they worked out the adoption. And if baby hasn't came yet, because I know that the baby was close to coming. The baby hasn't came yet. The baby is coming soon. I'm going to be meeting with my client soon. I'm going to get all the updates on what the baby ended up being, boy or girl, what they ended up naming the baby. If anybody's interested in that and she gives me permission, I'll share it. But guys, I mean, I'm just so excited for them. This is their next step in their journey, right? Moving in, getting this house together that they can call their own together, right? Not his house, her moving into his house or vice versa. Them getting a house together, her going on her career journey and things working out there, which I'm not going to get into because that's not the point of this story, and of this video. And then now this baby, okay. The next thing that she does want to work on is, getting a ring and, having a proposal. And she said, I'm open to when I get married, because of her, past and stuff like that. She's not in a total rush to go down the aisle, but she does feel like she wants a proposal and a ring. And I said, we can work on that next. Because she said that that'll kind of really feel like it solidifies them as a family. And you know what? For her, I agree. I think it's wonderful. But guys, if you're sitting here and you're ever doubting that things will not work out for you, that you're not going to get your manifestation, that it seems hopeless, guess what? I'm here to remind you that it is law for you to get your desires. It is absolute law that you are going to get whatever you want, period. What do I always say? In our quantum bubble, we have a Bible, and our Bible says I get whatever I desire. I get whatever the heck I want, period. Bottom line. Okay. It is law. It's a guarantee. Okay. And guess what? That law works for everybody. It doesn't just work for one person and not the other, and vice versa. No, it doesn't work that way. The law works for everybody. The only thing that works for everybody is the law. Okay. So I just want you to take that with you. Like I said, if you guys want to go and, watch the success story, the title of the video is something like, from block to moving in, or something like that, from no contact to moving in. I remember there was blocking situations. There was lots of back and forth drama. Like I said, I don't have the first success story right in front of me. But yeah, guys, it's big. It's big. And my client always jokes around and says, oh my God, I feel like I'm famous because of my success story. And I'm like, you are. There's a lot of people that want to hear about what's happening on your journey. So she feels like she has to bring you guys updates and stuff. And this was kind of a big gap in between, the update and stuff. And she's like, I'm so sorry, or I've had so much stuff going on or whatever. But we've been meeting, in the middle of that, obviously. She's still my client. And she's just wonderful. She's just so powerful, so wonderful. And I just want this to be your guys' reminder that you guys are powerful, just like her. You're no different. You're no different. Okay. So if we're talking about babies, if we're talking about marriage, we're talking about moving in, and right now you're no contact, or you're blocked, or both, or things just look very, very, very grim for you guys. Remember that she literally turned around her story from no contact, blocked, drama, to moving in, to now having a great career, solid career, to having a house with SP, and now having a baby. All right. So you guys take this with you. You know that I love, love, love all of you guys. I know that you guys are powerful. There's no doubt in my freaking mind that you're getting what you want. The law works for everybody, guys. So take that with you and have a great day, night, wherever you guys are in this world. And I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.